Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of T3 podcast series, Bolder Voices, Better Insights, where we explore the pulse of the travel and tourism industry. Today, we're diving into the vibrant world of SATE, South Asia's premier travel and tourism trade exhibition. For over 3 decades, SATE has been the cornerstone of collaboration, innovation, growth, and connecting travel professionals, tourism boards, and industry leaders from across the globe. In this episode, we'll explore what makes SATE the ultimate platform for networking, showcasing new trends, and shaping the future of travel. This is Navneet Mendiratta, a journalist, travel trade professional, and your host for this season, extending a very warm welcome to a very special guest and the backbone of this landmark platform, Pallavi Mehra, Senior Group Director in Pharma Markets, India. Hi, Pallavi.
Hi Navneet, thank you so much for taking forward our third series of of our podcast, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining, Pallavi. And I think the first thing, which comes to my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to know, is very basic, but we want to know it from the horse's mouth. What is satay? What was the original purpose of it? And, give us an overview of how it has evolved over the years.
I think Navneet, you like in your introduction, you introduced Satay really well. But just taking down, going back the history. So obviously, Satay has been there for over 3 decades now. When it started, in fact, the journey so far over the 3 decades has been very interesting because Satay started as as a platform for connecting or putting South Asia out to a larger global community. It started very humbly as a buyer seller meet. What I what I understand from the industry experts was that it was the first Satay was organized as a tabletop format in a banquet and completely focused on inbound into the region. So of course, India played a larger role here, being the share size, but it was to position South Asia. So India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. So that's how Satay got conceptualized. But then we saw over the years the changing trends, the growing out, the growing number of passport holders, or rather, I would say the growing middle class that emerged in the region changed the dynamic. And today, we are very proud to say that we provide a very holistic platform where it's a tourism exchange for a global community with South Asia, where South Asia is also positioning, and a global community is kind of coming and engaging and starting at a platform for growth in their travel and tourism business.
Thank you for sharing, the role of Sati in shaping the travel tourism industry actually now and connecting people globally, stakeholders. The next thing that comes to my mind is, if you were to talk about it in numbers, in terms of participation trends, what is the number trend been, from the start to now? How many people, exhibitors and countries have joined you so far? The key milestones or turning points in the history.
Navi, because there had been a change in the entire management, like as we all know, Satay was started by an entrepreneur, and it was acquired by by the company called UBM, and then of course now we are in Informa. So to go back as to how many numbers, like what were the numbers 30 years back, is a little difficult for me to answer. But yeah, I'm very happy to say, and again. What I shared, it started as a tabletop format, and today we are in a complete exhibition format, and as we are working towards Satay in 2025, which is going to be the 32nd edition of Satay, we are spread over 400,000 square feet of area. We are looking at more than 2,000 exhibitors joining us. In terms of our visitor footfall, also we are aiming to almost about 40,000 plus trade attendees to be coming in, and apart from that, a very focused group, what we call buyers. So we would be reaching out to over 150 Indian cities from where we would be we are inviting almost 500 plus buyers who would be joining us, who would be focused on domestic and outbound. Additionally, we as a platform, we are a holistic platform. So for us, inbound is equally important. And when I say inbound, it's inbound to the region. So where we would be having more than 200 buyers from above 50 from 50 countries. So that's the growth that we are looking at Sade 2025.
Lovely. They say no journey is smooth, when you are like especially achieving bigger heights. What are the challenges that Sate faced over the years? The global, the impact of the global events. We had COVID, there have been pandemics, there have been financial crisis, recession. How did Sate overcome all of that? And, what were the challenges that you would like to share and the learnings from them?
Yes, the journey hasn't but yeah, again, coming out with flying colors is what is there to cherish, Navneet. And yes, 2020 we saw the tourism industry coming to a standstill, and the future of tourism was very, very bleak. Of course, we went innovative because we felt that the core essence of Sate is to connect the trade, the travel community. So we wanted to be the voice of the industry. We started a series of webinars where we invited industry experts to boost the industry members, and not to be disappointed at that particular point in time. And we also got a chance to conduct Sate in the first quarter of 2021, and I think we were the only travel show that got executed. And we knew our focus was completely domestic. We didn't really anticipate much international participants. We did get a few countries who did join us even at that point in time. But the most cherishing moment for me at that point in time, and I would just not say me, but the entire Sate team was, what we aimed to deliver at that point in time was to get the industry together, let them meet, let that confidence get rebuilt. We kind of achieved what we aimed for. It was and since then we haven't really see we haven't really seen any coming back. We've grown from there. 2022, when the tourism, I think I still remember the date, March 27th, 2022, aviation opened up. And what we anticipated at Sate 2022, because we had to move the show because of the third wave, the Omicron. So from February, for the first time, we conducted the show in midst of summer, in the I think it was the second or the third week of May. So there was a lot of apprehension that we are doing the show, what would be the visitor footfall. But again, I think the aisles were full. We were finding difficulty to move around, and I think that's what the strength of that. I would say that's the strength of Sate, to get the industry together.
It's commendable how pandemic has taught us, to innovate and think of new ideas. And of course, getting people back on the floor with the kind of numbers and with the kind of situation that had put us in. I think it's very, essential. And I guess it is a learning again to figure, how we managed to do that is very interesting to know. Tell me something. What are the, in terms of when you conduct the exhibition, what are the most significant achievements that you would call? I'm sure a lot of policies and dialogues and happen around it. So is there something that you would like to share in terms of success stories?
See, again, Navneet, what we feel is, since we, as Informa Markets, we thrive to be putting industrial events. We are experts. We are the number one company in B2B exhibition space. And yes, we are connecting two databases, which is the exhibitor database and I would say the seller database and the buyer database. But because the industry is coming together, it's also very important to create sections or create dialogues from the platform, which are areas that matter. Like we also have our own publication, Travel Trends Today, which which has been there serving the travel community for almost more than 4 decades now. With our media arm, and we take a lot of pride in saying that we conduct these knowledge sessions across the 3 days of the show, which are very well attended. We try to get experts from within India, overseas. We engage with international bodies like UNWTO, PATA. Invite their spokespersons to be there and share their knowledge and and talk about the trends which help the industry to plan their current and future.
You've been doing a lot of firsts, because first with a lot of things. Any instance that comes to your mind, which you would want to share and say, okay, we were the first ones to do this. This is the first policy that came out from here.
See again, Navneet, I'm yes, as SARTE, we take a lot of pride in being first in a lot of initiatives, and I think even when it comes to destinations, we have been the launch pad for a lot of destinations to come and launch themselves, for not just for India, not just for South Asia, but for the Asian markets. In fact, I'll cite an example of Brand US. I think Brand US launched itself in 2013 in Asia and they used SARTE as their launch platform. Again, a very talked about destination currently, is Azerbaijan, and it was 2017 that a group of private sector came together from Azerbaijan. 2018, a group of private sector from Azerbaijan with the local association came together to participate. And in 2019, SARTE was the launch platform for Azerbaijan Tourism Board, and we cherish that relationship with them. Just talking about current year's 2023, we got the opportunity of working with the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. India was chairing the SCO, so which is again a grouping of countries, and they wanted to do an activation in the B2B space. And we take a lot of pride that it was SARTE that ministry, they could have just gone ahead, done something on their own, but they chose SARTE as a platform to position SCO and connect the travel community within for India with the SCO member countries. And now we start an association with the SEPC, which is a Services Export Promotion Council under Ministry of Commerce. And as we all know, tourism is a champion vertical as far as services is concerned for foreign exchange earning. So they have a brand called Atithi, and which is a reverse buyer seller meet, and they chose SARTE to be a platform for Atithi. Because again, since we are already engaging, we have so it just I think it just strengthens what as an independent company, as in pharma, getting backed by SEPC and positioning India as a most sought after destination, showcasing for the international travelers to be coming in and exploring. So now we are looking forward to working with the Ministry of Shipping to see, because there's a lot of focus on cruise tourism, and as Informa globally, we have an event called Sea Trade, and Cruise Shipping Miami is the flagship show for the shipping and for cruise tourism industry. So we are trying to see how how we could collaborate and and get up and position India as a destination for cruise liners, for and promote our coastal, like we have almost about 7,500 square meters coastal belt. So how work around that, and so these are few things that we are looking at, Navneet.
India is a perfect market for cruise tourism, in fact, and that's one of the most upcoming sections that would be explored. I'm sure because world over people are taking to cruise tourism. They want to spend time together, and there's a lot happening in that industry. So it'll be interesting to see how Sate weaves that in, and you weave it in a part of the other conferences that you do as Informa Markets. But I also, like, apart from this, when we talk about cruise tourism, there's also sustainable and responsible tourism that eventually that comes to your head. And I have heard discussions in the past at SATE also. You've had conclaves and you've had sessions. How is it that, how is SATE involving and pushing responsible and sustainable tourism? Your efforts in, working that out?
Uh, See, of course, as setting knowledge sessions and putting forward the best practices which would help and support the tourism industry. So that is a very very important part when we talk about our discussion and our discussion and our panel discussions. So sustainable tourism, discussions, but we just don't believe in talks. We also believe in executing. So there are a lot of initiatives that we, as Informa, as SATE, that we try to do. So one of the drives is plant a tree. So when somebody is registering online and is coming with an e-badge, so we plant a tree. So those again, a very interesting thing that we kind of hear from our clients. So we have like, as a company, because we are a global company, we are also evaluated in how what initiatives we are taking towards sustainability and things. Stand spaces below 27 square meters need to be a shell scheme stand. We don't encourage customized stand below that space. We also have certain height restrictions. Like, of course, now we have more equipped venues, but again, to put a limit is again, somewhere focused to lesser woodwork and uh, and encourage in reusable material to be coming in at the shows. So these are all initiatives that we have towards. In fact, this time we are also trying to do a drive to save for water conservation. So in fact, we tried, like, we have kind of stopped using single use of plastic. So a lot of people come around saying, oh, आप पानी का bottle नहीं देते हो, but we put together, we have water stations, just so that like that single use of plastic, the plastic bottles at the show, because the kind of the material which is used, or the scrap that comes out, to control that. In fact, at a certain areas we also go for reusable carpets.
These are small little changes, but they also make a lot of difference, I guess. And there is a lot about, like, when you're putting out together an event such as that, there are small little nitty-gritty details and small little details that make all the difference.
I know. See, again, because we are conducting the shows, like, we don't own any venues. So of course we are also very mindful of the venues that we work with. What their sustainable, like, what are their policies and things. So all these. So it's not very easy for us to choose any venue to do our show.
Pallavi, the venue I think, is a very interesting journey also for you guys as well. As you've grown bigger, you've picked up different locations, and I believe this time is going to be a very, very, the most happening place, I guess, is where you're shifting. But I'd like to hear from you. How the shift has been, and how it has grown. If we were to measure in terms of, like, looking at the venue that you've chosen.
The venue, talking about the venue change, it came to us as a complete surprise in 2018, because we were we were celebrating 25 years of SATE at Pragati Maidan, and Pragati Maidan meant in for redevelopment, and and that made us move out of Pragati Maidan. And at that point in time, the only venue that we could move within the NCR region was India Expo Mart, and I think it worked well because it was at that point in time the state of the art venue, and the kind of infrastructure, the kind of struggles that we faced at Pragati Maidan, barring the distance. But but all that, but again, it was not that we worked a lot. So as Team Sate, we ensured that the journey from central Delhi and or different parts of the city, we had buses flying to ensure there is convenience for our visitors to be attending and to be there at the show floor. And that's what we saw through the years that we were there at India Expo Mart. But yes, we have once again decided to move, and to move to Dwarka, which we all acknowledge is the state of the art venue which has come. It's a greenfield venue which has come up in Delhi, and we are equally excited because in terms of its connectivity, it's built up. We've as Informa, we've already tested waters there with one of our launch shows in 2024. But yeah, as a large format show as Sate, it's going to be our first time. So we are equally excited the way the industry is.
Do you want to only focus on Delhi, or would you want to go to like Bombay or other markets? And
No, so it was a very conscious decision. So of course, when Sate was acquired, there was a Bombay edition which was launched. We continued that for 4 years, 2012 to 2016. We continued that, but then there was a market feedback that we got that there's one WTM, there is one ITB, there's one ATM. So why spread yourself? So that's the reason we kind of kept our focus. Yes, we are diversifying, but those are something that kind of lead up to Sate. So we have our formats, which is Sate Connect, but that is basically an extension of a marketing drive. So our we want to reach out to maximum cities in India. So that helps us. How we have positioned our connects also is, so we have Sate Connect Chennai, Sate Connect Kolkata, Sate Connect Ahmedabad. So the three zones, and of course Sate is in north. So that's how we have kind of kept a built up towards it. But yeah, as Sate, there is only we only look at one Sate. Again, we were looking at expansion to Bangladesh this year, but then because of the obvious problems, we have pulled that. And even as Informa Markets, as a guideline that we have got, we want to concentrate on larger format shows, and so that puts that retains Sate in Delhi.
how has Sate adapted to the digital transformation in travel industry? When we're talking about virtual, hybrid, different formats. So what are the tech innovations that you have brought about in those?
And Navneet, in fact, Sate has been the enabler. In fact, we were the first ones to introduce webinars way back in 2013. So because we felt that the industry needed to know about new tools, which is beyond face-to-face technology. And we've also we've also been in a hybrid space. In fact, when I talk about 2021 show, because the world was not open and people wanted to connect, so we had a hybrid format, and some countries, they came and participated in our hybrid format at Sate. But yes, again, talking about again what I now what we experience is that Sate is again a platform. People want to come meet face to face and understand the various various tools which are available for them. for their business expansions and things, and we see increase from technology companies. Like currently we don't really see much, again, India doesn't see much technology providers, barring a very few, but yeah, platforms which are enablers, naming like a TBO or a Make My Trip or Ease My Trip or GRN Connect. So they're all very much present at Sate to engage and you know to give that enhancement to the stakeholders.
We are moving towards a very tech, heavy and tech importance, world. And now, if I were to kind of ask you, what kind of like trends have emerged apart from like technology, which we can like probably pick up from Sate over the years. Can you give us some insights into the shift in travel preferences, technology, services?
See, of course, we have been talking about technology services and all, Navneet, but I think in terms of trends, when we talk about trends in travel, it's newer destinations, unexplored products, and so that's like I think even in India, because now we see that there is, and I think we are living in an insta world. So even the traveler wants to be the first one put so how the destination is getting themselves, or a product is evolving around a tech savvy world, and Sate as a platform is there to provide that ease of travel.
With the kind of people that are coming together, I'm sure the kind of like diverse different I guess units coming together, I guess at one place, it's a good convergence. From a global perspective, how has Sati positioned South Asia in the global tourism landscape?
uh See, I think as I shared from the journey, from just being a tabletop and very inward focused, today we are a platform, and again, when we compare ourselves with a world with an ITB or a World Travel Mart, they are they have been there for over 5 decades and all, and they but again somewhere where Sate comes the advantage, because we have kept a very regional focus, and it gives an opportunity for global destinations also coming with a very focused mindset to tap a particular region. Yes, we also offer a global a global audience, because we are inviting that global audience to tap the potential of the of the region that we operate, but then they're not restricted. So in a very in a very intimate environment, and obviously the size that we are talking about, it's not, but yeah, like when we but in a very intimate environment, the discussions and the meetings and all that take place are far more fruitful, and and again, what we say is that when you're coming to a show like Sate, it's very important to plan yourself, and we have certain tools which help our visitor and exhibitor to do pre-planning. We have online meeting schedulers, which is there. We've also introduced a marketplace which is available to the industry 365 days. So use those tools to make your those 3 days, because to maximize on the 3 days that a visitor is spending with us.
That's a lot. I mean, if you get all that audience and all that attention at one place, I think that's the best thing that you can possibly have. But I'm sure there must be some challenges also, in putting that together. Must be something that you want to ask of the exhibitors that, okay, if you do this, perhaps you'll get much more benefit, coming out of it.
Yes, Navneet, I think that journey. It's a constant learning for us along with the exhibitors. Of course, their booking timelines play a very big role there. The sooner that they book, because they like it's an advantage that the exhibitor also gets with us, because the minute they book with us, we are also amplifying, because there's a lot of communication that we are sending out. So we are putting a spotlight on to the partners who are joining us. So yes, it's always there's an education. Yes, it is a challenge, but I think we see it more as an opportunity of being better engaged, and like not just like as partners with our clients, with our customers, not just as a product. We are just there to sell our square meters and move out.
You have editions outside of India as well, in terms of like, so how has Sate strengthened the relationship in Southeast Asia? Can you share more details on these editions?
And I Naveed, let me correct you. Yes, as Informa Markets, we are present globally. I think we are across 40 countries where we have our own offices. But Sate is a product of Informa Markets India, and we and currently our like currently our foresight is to strengthen Sate in India. Of course, if we see opportunity with any of our international offices, we would be happy, for a geo adaptation. But currently we are completely focused on strengthening and and tapping the potential that India and the South Asia region has to offer.
So if you were to say, looking forward, what is the future vision for Sate? Your
Our
plans for expansion?
future vision for Sate, I would say that like of course we have almost all our Indian states participating, but we want like everyone. We have 28 of them coming with us. We want every state, every UT to be there. Like even in terms of from our outbound perspective, we have 50 plus countries, but there are 200 plus countries there, out of which I think about 80 of them are currently active in the India market. So like we want to tap to the remaining 30 who are not there with us. So the next 3 years would be that's what like I would say, not talking about a 5-year plan here right now, but the next 3 years, that is what we would like to focus ourselves, and like how we could make India as a hub for international tourism.
Climate change, over tourism, and economic uncertainty. These are three major challenges that we are likely to face in the future. How does Sate aim to address them? Like, in terms of how integrating discussions about them, how do you plan to take it forward?
Again, Navneet, what we have spoken about, the initiatives as an exhibition organizer, what we can take, we are already doing that. It's very important for us to constantly keep talking about and and educating people. So our knowledge sessions are very very important for us as key drivers. Again, getting best practices, because there are a lot of destinations who are already working towards it. We also understand that our own like within India, we have a lot of destinations like who are facing capacity challenges. So those also affect those also come. So how do we manage?
So, Pallavi, climate change, over tourism, and economic uncertainty. These are three things we can't, simply dismiss in the future scenario. How does Sate aim to address these challenges?
Navneet, we have been we've been taking steps and doing from our side, doing our level best. And I think the area that we feel we see the opportunity of highlighting those are through our panel discussions, and we have been very mindful of picking up our discussion topics. So I'll just kind of go back in history, go back in time. So 2024 sessions, we we invited international associations to come and talk about the various the way forward, and how they are talking about and working towards to making their destinations sustainable. And we had Pata to lead that discussion, and followed by a session on heritage tourism, because we felt people, like, the minute we use the word heritage, people are only thinking about palaces and monuments, but heritage tourism is way beyond. It's all about creating that ecosystem, and about preservation. So those were our focus areas. And again, as we are moving towards Saturday 2025, our key focus areas are over tourism. So we have a panel lined up, where we would be taking up a topic of this would be the key highlight. We all in fact, we are also doing a very interesting session with social media influencers, which has been titled as viral to vital, because we have seen because of the social media impact, a lot of destinations there's over tourism. The destination has lost as its ethos, has lost its essence. So how do we balance that? And of course, so these are the few. And when we talk about climate change, retaining the essence of the destination, not going overboard, and exploitation of the destination, how we could limitize that.
What has been your most inspiring and surprising moment of Sate? Any personal stories from exhibitors or attendees that you'd want to share?
I think every year it's interesting, but for me, the most exciting times, and I think I'm repeating myself here also, was when we did Sate 2021, because that was a time that the travel industry was completely at its low. And doing the show, bringing together the industry, we were all very worried uh, uh, as to how the show would get delivered. And I think it was just just before the second wave, the unfortunate second wave hit us. But but again, working and executing Sate 2021, and seeing those expressions from the industry members, I think that's the most unforgettable moment for me.
So, okay, with times, the competition also arises. As times change, there are more people who come up with newer products. Why should someone attend or participate in Sate? What is the unique value proposition for stakeholders?
Again, I would possibly sound a bit repetitive here. But yeah, we take a lot of pride that Sate brings together all facets of travel, from hospitality, aviation, to technology, to destination management. So Sate is one platform which provides a collaborative, enriching, and growth-driven environment. And I think that makes it essential for all stakeholders to be there, build partnerships, gain insights, drive success, and create their dynamism in the travel and tourism industry. So
what are the tips additional to this? What are the tips you would give to somebody who's attending Sate for the first time? How do they make most of the event?
I think again, what I mentioned earlier in our discussion, Sate is a B2B platform. So your preparation for a B2B for coming towards a B2B event is very, very critical. And that's where technology, we have been enhancing our virtual platforms. So I would really request our attendees to please go through our websites, go through the information that we've been sharing, go through Sate 365 click. and prepare yourself. Do those preset appointments. Come prepared, because once, like a lot of times, in fact, we have, like, and that's based on experience, because I think I, like, have been a part of the exhibition industry for almost 20 years now. Initially, we because there was not so much technology which was available, so you are kind of, so you spend almost a day trying to understand the flow plan and things. But now all that knowledge is already provided. So preparation for a B2B show is which plays a very important role.
Thank you, Pallavi. That has been a lot of like information sharing, from your side, and I think it would be great to have people coming down to Satay and maybe networking for themselves and realizing the value of it. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for sharing the insights and details into what makes Satay what it is. And with this, we come to the end of this exciting episode of the podcast, T3 Bolder Voices, Better Insights. We meet you soon with the next episode. Till that time, thank you so much for joining.
No, thank you so much, Navneet, for this. And my last, just using this opportunity, I welcome each and every member of our travel trade at Satay 2025, and look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. This was great.
Thank you.